G'day traders, we're going to wrap up of Friday the 11th of May, end of the week, and overall I'd say, quite a tough week. I reckon when you look at these charts, definitely we're pushing down, we're in a downward trend here, we're underneath, a fairly strong resistance area. Definitely a week you should be predominantly looking at sellers over buyers, yet what we saw is a lot of these streaks of buyers come through, and a lot of sell trades that normally work get stopped out. So if you're fairly new to trading, I'd say this week overall one of the tougher weeks. So the good news is it's not always like that. Trading's going to be more difficult at certain stages, but just because of the situation we had where it wasn't always with the dailies, the markets weren't always trading with the dailies, it just made it a little bit tougher. One big lesson I think I learnt this week was just be careful of what's happened in the pre-market. So the reason that we saw a lot of buyers come through is, even though yes we have pushed down, and you can see the last 5 days of this week, the last 5 days we've got 4 red candles, so that goes with the sell side. But what was happening in a lot of the days is we had a lot of sellers in the pre-market. By the time they were getting to the opening of the cash market, the sellers were quite exhausted. They'd kind of done their dash, and we were seeing the streak of the buyers because the market was having a bit of a bounce, and then again the next day it kind of continued down, and then they're having their bounces in the cash market. So I very much in my mind said, okay, if we're seeing some real extended buyers or sellers either way in pre-market, just to take note of that and realise that expect the other side of that market to come into play. So that's definitely what happened this week. As far as today, I was on the sell side. I believe that it's a seller's market, even though there's definitely buyers around, but we're underneath resistance. At the opening of this market today, the sellers weren't overextended or hadn't kind of done their dash like we were talking about. So they were coming into the opening today's market fresh, and we're in a seller's market. So for that reason, I believe that at some stage the sellers would come in. Okay, so overall you can see, but we did get these buyers, so that's right. You've got to go with the buyers, I guess, when they're proven to be as strong as they are here. What I'd be thinking to myself as we are pushing up here, and then through here we're starting to get a sell, some sellers going, okay, these guys are expected. The buyers, because of where we are in the market, it's not one of those days where the just going to go up, the market's going to go up all day. Occasionally you see those one directional days, but there is reason for that, and they are predictable days when that will happen. We need to be breaking up through very significant resistance, and all of a sudden the buyers get a reason to push higher. Not one of those days. So the fact that we pushed up so hard here, and it's a day where we expect sellers, it'd be a really good reason to believe that we'd get sellers in the afternoon, and for that reason, I think this afternoon was very predictable, and I'll go through some of the things I thought. So obviously we pushed up quite strongly. Let's just go to the 1 minute chart for a second, because on the 5 minute chart it's just a complete push up to eventually we got the first pullback with the predictive here. But on the 1 minute chart you can see 1, 2, 3 power points. Pullback works really well. Again, 1, 2, 3 pullback works really well. So you don't see that often work twice in a row. But this area here, it had reason to take it and not to take it, I suppose. It's against the dailies, and when it started all of a sudden coming back like this, I thought, maybe this is where the seller's going to come in. But then again, these buyers were very strong. There was actually quite some strong support at the 1352 level. So I think this was more of a 50-50 area, even though it's worked extremely well. Then as we start getting up here, this second one, by this stage, it's getting very extended. So again, it's hard to take. So no reason to not take these, but of course at the same time I believe there was reason to be hesitant on it. So if you miss the uptrend, that for good reason, I think that is. So back to the 5 minute chart, back to the 1 minute chart. Here's this first pullback here we have recorded. You can see the market's gone exactly 10 points here, 10 points and 1 tick. So we now look for the first pullback in line with this 10-point trend on the 1 minute charts. So today we got 1 winner. So overall, since we've been recording these, we got 2 from 2. 2 winners, no losers. As far as the second power point after yellow, we still haven't got one of those yet to record since we've been doing this. Over to the 1 minute chart, as far as 5 minute pullback retracement today, a winner up here. So you can see it's crossed down here, and you look for a 1 tick better entry, so it would have went 10 plus ticks, ended up going about 11, 12 ticks. So obviously not with the dailies like we said before. So what it goes down as is, just recording them purely as is whenever we get that first pullback of the trend, just to see what happens for for educational purposes. We've got 2 from 3, so you can see overall just going with the, I guess, not necessarily the overall daily trend, but just the trend of the moment is proving to be quite efficient. So 2 from 3. As far as going with the dailies, today doesn't count because it's against, so overall we've still got a 1 from 2 situation. But we'll keep an eye on as we get through the weeks and months. This information will be become quite interesting. Over to the 5-minute charts, like we said, we got a couple of little pullbacks and then we pushed high. We topped out just before lunch here. When we started pushing down through here, I thought this is where the sellers were starting to come in. All the other markets is stage 2. Especially the Russell were pushing quite lower and starting to get underneath these support levels here and showing that real signs of sellers were coming through the lunchtime period. If you look at the 1-minute chart, let me bring it up. You can see they're very quite sideways. Then we got this push down here. So before lunchtime, definitely thought wanting some sort of sell trade, and this is a pretty prime example of it here. Push down, get a bit of a retracement, and then go again at the downside. But like I said, through here was quite sideways, so I didn't get quite the setting or the setup they were looking for. And also at this candle here, the Russell wasn't exactly breaking the downside. Yes, it was on the downside, but it wasn't pushing down with any sort of significance, and so I wasn't sure if it might just push back up. And like we said, we've been getting these buyer streaks coming through, so if you're hesitant on this area, for good reason. But this was a strong seller's candle, and it's definitely the setup we're looking for. Just as whether it had enough pressure is another thing. From there we pushed a bit lower. What I was thinking about this market, let me squash it up here going, remember we said there's definitely sellers around, and to get this streak of buys or that was a little bit against the dailies, and just thought we definitely got chances of getting back down around where we opened. So this price down here, so you can see we got almost there, a couple of points short. So even when we missed this trade here, I'm still thinking some sort of sell opportunity because we had plenty of room on the downside. It's not like it's extended and it's not a seller's market or anything like that. So the one thing I was looking at is this area here. I was hoping for a bit more of a retracement and then a real go at the downside, see all the other markets breaking and look for somewhere point to break here. So the actual trading area would have been here. Here's the breakdown candle, but you can see it's popped back up. But overall, I don't think it was a smart area, even though it's the area we're looking for. The other markets weren't breaking at the time. We certainly didn't get quite enough of a retracement, and it was an area that was a bit of a false move, popped up, and then away it went. So just to show you that, here it is here on the 1-minute chart. So you can see nowhere near the retracement. We really want it to pop back up, around 58, 50, 59, maybe just break that area, and then come back down with some power, and that will give you some real confidence it's going to head on the downside. We did get to yellow, but we didn't get any sort of pullback or retracement from that, so nothing to see there. And you can see just I guess grinding to the downside and pushing down with the original daily expectation. So overall, definitely some trading opportunities, slow trading opportunities there, and a good multiple directional kind of day. So that's Friday, and we'll speak to you guys next week.